Oh yeah!
Ooh, what up, ladies and gentlemen? All right, so starting a podcast is easy, but wouldn't you like to podcast like a pro? Let's show you how.
Wouldn't
Shut up and sit down.
Business Bros is your show, where small business professionals just like you come to tell their stories. This podcast is for those who understand the number one rule in business, which is to be of service to others. Learn how today's professionals generate leads, what's working on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of those who are out there doing the real work. And now let's welcome your hosts, Hernan Cias, the real estate bro with eXp Realty, the cloud-based brokerage where top producers reign, and James Cias, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, making sure you are covered because there's a lot riding out there. And now here are the Business Bros.
Boom! Welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros. First of all, that has become a staple in our show. You know, that's like cultural, a thing, right?
It's culturally a thing. Absolutely. Wait, why do you say that though?
So check it out. I like to show people love on the Facebook, just like or on the Instagram, anywhere that people go live, right? So if you're going live, make sure well, what happens is we get notifications just like you get a notification, and I like to show up and show a little love, right? So
you're like, yo, what up?
Yeah, exactly. So I go ahead and show some love on the platform, whatever platform it is, and the super cool thing that happens is I'll show up, I'll leave a comment, and the person who's doing the live like stops in the middle and they're like, "Hey, what's up, Business Bros?" It's so cool, dude. It's so cool to hear other people doing it. So it's been a fun thing to do. It's been a fun thing to do. So Business Bros, that Business Bros is a fun call. And I was talking to somebody today and they were telling me how it's the only time that you can really do that. And like people will be like, that's cool. Like where you can be goofy and kind of funny at the same time. And otherwise at any other time during the day, you do something like that, you look like an idiot. But when you're around us and you're like, "Oh, what's up, Business Bros?" It's okay. 100% okay.
100% okay. And honestly, super cool. And it is, dude. I love that. You were saying something there about how it's like the only thing that you can do, or it's the only time that you can do it, is when you're on the show or when you have your own show, you get to kind of come up with your own gimmick.
Yep.
And that accidentally became our gimmick.
Yeah, accidentally, for sure.
Thank you, Miller Lite.
Yeah. A few cans of Miller Lite.
Just a few.
Today's show topic is podcasting like a pro. So check it out, dude. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the last 6 weeks of COVID.
Working?
Yeah, exactly. Managed to write an ebook for this whole podcasting thing, put together a course, run a whole beta program, not only create the content as far as written.
Before you go any further, I got a question for you. Has your productivity over the course of this quarantine like gone down, gone up, or stayed the same? Like, in other words, for me, I jumped into COVID quarantine, and like probably the first 3 weeks I was just supercharged, energized, working, and I'm still working a lot, but I feel like my productivity has actually kind of gone down a little bit personally. Cause like I accomplished so much so fast, and I am wondering what my next step is.
I had a little bit of that, I'd say about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And I've put it back on full drive this week. So, nice. I'll tell you what happened. So I wrote the whole course, right? So literally it was typing up the course, all these different segments, things that people always ask about, like what mic should I pick? Like what's an RSS feed? Like literally typed out an entire book of answers with hyperlinks and all that stuff. That was step number one. And I was jazzed and excited about doing that sort of stuff. Then after that went on, it was creating the course somewhere where people can log on and, have a place to find that information. So we created the course and the actual website course outline stuff so that people can do that. Then the next step was, Now I got to create video content to match all this written content. So, mom wants to know if you got your package.
Not yet. At least I haven't seen it outside my door. I'd have to go downstairs and take a look.
Got to double check. Got to make sure you check that. Mom sent us a care package because we miss
know.
mom. Mom misses us, and it's food. So make sure you check it as soon as possible.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
All right. So, back to the thing. So we created the course, right? And then we started doing video content. So literally I invited people to kind of go through it, ask me questions, critique it, and let me know if there's anything missing, that sort of stuff. And so I got feedback, and I was creating video portions for each one of the sections that is in the course. So now I got video to match all the written stuff. Cool. Next is created funnels for this whole thing to start to sell it and put out pieces of it. Cool. So what was the next step? And after I finished all that, I felt the same way you did. I was like, okay, now what's next? What do I do after this? And I started to kind of slow down a bit. And then I realized what's next is probably the most difficult part of any business, which is sell it. Right now, it's go out and get clients. Okay, right. So what did I do to fix that? I sat down and I thought, what are my dollar productive activities? What are the things that I need to do on a regular basis so that people see what it is that we're doing? And it came down to creating content pieces, small little clips. And it came down to making sure that I have an email campaign or some sort of email to go out to our existing database of people that were interested in podcasting, people in the real estate space that I had contacts with, even people in the game truck industry that we had a contact email list for.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I got in the habit of every morning I'm still getting up at 4:30. I go out for my run. And then I make sure that I post something on my Instagram stories that's a story related to something that is relevant, like personal, a little bit different, right? Not so much.
I've been watching.
And then after that,
you're
in the morning,
kicking ass, by the way. Like, bravo to you. Like, you're absolutely right that your consistency is your superpower. Because like I got up so far this week twice at 5, and the second time I like pretty much couldn't move. So like I was like trying to shake it, and I was like, nope, just went back to bed for another hour.
So dude, I'll share with you a little bit of that here in a second. So I got a couple things that I need to do every single day now. One is after I'm done with my workout and I take a shower, the very first thing I do is I'm going to create an email that goes out to my database.
Ooh.
Right. I make sure that I do that every single day now in the morning. So those of you who've been in the database, who've been part of our Business Bro Network, who have been on on the show, I'm starting to make contact via email, and we're going to do that every single day. And it's not salesy every day. Sometimes it's like, here, let me give you some information. Here, let me provide you with your own show, the episode from your show. Hey, that sort of stuff, right? Just something of value that we can bring every single day. So it's an email every single day. I'm looking up here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the content piece that I'm going to post for Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. I'm going to create that piece that day. So before I do anything in my day, I'm going to do those two things, right? And so those are two of my dollar productive activities. Those are the things that I'm going to get done, and I'm going to ensure that I go forward. After that, I'm still doing distant learning type stuff. I have to be online to make sure that I meet with students, but usually I have a good little gap there, maybe an hour, sometimes half hour, whatever. And there's times where I'm tired after I did my workout and I put out that work that I need to do, and I'll go take a power nap for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it is. And it's something that I normally wouldn't do because we'd be at school. But right now with distant learning, that's cool. And then that'll give me the juice I need to continue through the rest of the day. Today, I didn't have time for that. Today, I had other stuff going on in the morning and no power nap, and I'm feeling it, dude. I've been trying to chug a lot of water just to kind of get my energy back up, but I'm feeling it.
Oh, man. Well, still kudos to you. I'm trying to get back into that routine because for a while there I was doing good. For a while there I was, up at 4:30 and doing everything, and I don't know, something about this COVID just shut me down, and I'm like, just not having. I'm not doing it.
There is no try.
Right? You're right. I think it has to do with going to bed later.
Yeah, it absolutely does have to
You
do
know?
that.
Because it's like I'm stuck at home all day and just doing nothing, and I'm working and working and working till later at night, and then finally when I get done working, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess now I'll wind down a little bit, and by then it's
And
It's
we've
later
talked
in the
about this.
evening.
We've talked about this before. The productivity that you're doing doesn't matter whether it's the 8 hours in the morning or it's the 8 hours in the evening. You don't have kids. There's nothing really distracting you during the day that like that sort of distraction. So I mean, you are married, so that's a different distraction. But but you're able to focus in the time that you want to focus in on. What hours of the day those are, completely up to you. All right. So check this out. Podcast like a pro. So
off topic.
yeah. Back,
We're back to the topic. Yeah, back to the topic at hand.
Pivot.
Pivot.
Friends. So, by the way, stuff like that is going to be something in the podcast like a pro thing. I'm not going to give away every single thing that
Stuff
I'm
like
working on
that?
right now.
Stuff like
yes,
Pivot.
yes. So check it out.
Ah.
I'm not going to give away everything yet, but there's some stuff in the works here that I'm super excited about. I've been spending a lot of time in podcasting groups, right? People that are going through podcasting, and they're at all different levels. Some of them have been podcasting for many years or in radio for many years, in TV and audio editing, whatever, sound engineers, all kinds of stuff. And there's people who are just getting started, right? And so I'm trying to get in contact with people and ask them for things about, you know, what are your biggest pain points? What are you struggling with? What are you doing well? Where do you focus your time? And when I ask these questions and I post them in these groups, I'm getting a lot of really good engagement. Some of them, you know, we're up to like, you know, 150, 200, 300 comments in these discussions. And I'm getting a good idea of what people are looking for and what they need. And I'm really thinking of the not so much the podcast person who has, you know, 17 years experience. I'm really looking for the person who is at the very beginning of creating branding content. And so before I continue, like podcasting, I want to redefine, you know, I've redefined what I consider the influencer. I kind of have to redefine what I mean by a podcast, because when traditionally a podcast is purely audio, there's nothing other than internet radio is a very good description or definition of what a podcast is. But today is different. When I see somebody who goes live every single day on Instagram, maybe they don't have a fancy mic, maybe it's just on their phone, but they're going live and they're answering questions or they're telling their story. You're doing that on a consistent basis. I call that a podcast, right? If you're creating you know, content on YouTube and you're putting that all the time and you're interviewing somebody, I call it a podcast, right? It's kind of a mixed thing. To me, a podcast more is your show. Whatever your show is, which includes audio and video, to me, you're defining that as podcasting. You're creating your brand and you're putting your brand out and sharing your ideas, your opinions, your creativity, whatever it is. You're doing that on a regular basis. You're podcasting, right? That's how I see it. You know, are there people that are doing it traditionally, just audio still? Yes, of course.
The term podcast is derived from the media player iPod and the term broadcast. So podcast is kind of a umbrella term for something that you used to listen to on your iPod. And what was available even on the original iPod? Video. So it wouldn't have really mattered.
It doesn't matter. And so really, I mean, if you really go down to our core of what we talk about when I talk about podcasting, I want you to podcast. I want you to understand the power of podcasting so you can take control of your branding and your marketing, right? That's the whole point behind what we're doing. So think about it. Anybody who's starting their business, who needs to have a marketing plan, who needs to put out content on a regular basis, they're missing things. They don't know how to edit a video clip. They don't know how to edit their audio. They don't know how to create their RSS feed. And even when they finally get down to, I understand how to hit the live button, right? And I understand how to start my camera, and I understand how to hit record on my audio devices. Then where most people are today, because of Zoom, it makes it easy. I can hit play and, you know, record and I'm ready to go. Most people are there. How do you make your stuff look beautiful? How do you make your stuff look professional? How do you stand out from everybody else so that your podcast, your professional, your branded content looks like it's a professionally branded content and not just like you just kind of cracked it open because you're trying to build a brand for yourself. You're not trying to build something super simple, right? So with that in mind, I'm trying to figure out, how do I solve those problems? How do I make somebody hop on their Instagram, look at our Instagram and be like, man, I wish I could do raps like that. And not have to go through the whole process of getting Photoshop Premiere Pro, right? Getting Photo Premiere, Adobe Premiere Pro or Photoshop or whatever, and creating all this stuff and learning a whole new program and taking all the time. How do I get them to do all that as simple as possible, as inexpensively as possible? And so, Podcast Like a Pro, I created the Facebook group. So for any of you who are interested in learning all these different techniques, whether it is you want to do it yourself or you want to pay somebody to do it, the cool thing is I'm going to show you, we're developing a really cool program for you guys to be able to do that, get all those things at a really inexpensive rate. But you want to learn from other people. So there are podcasters that are going to be in this group. There are audio engineers, there are video editors, all kinds of different people in this group, and we can learn from each other in this group. But we're also going to be able to provide you with the services that you don't want to learn. They're going to be hands off. You want to do it yourself. And so the concept is really, really simple. If I could show you how to produce a professional content piece, a professional podcast piece, all by yourself with minimal cost every single month, would you be interested in that? If you're a small business and you need to create content on a regular basis, would you be interested in that? You can hire an employee to do all your marketing, all your branding, one person, super simple. Or maybe you want to do it yourself because we're in COVID. You need to be putting out more content. You need to, we're social distancing. We can't have as many people inside. We need to work on some sort of delivery system for your products and services and for your content. This is the perfect time to do it. So, dude, that's what I've been working on. And that's what I've been juiced up about. And today I had a great call and mapped out a 3-tier program. Just like I was, I had been talking about this multi-level program before with you. But I think I fine-tuned what it is now. Right. And so we're going to post the link in the show here. So I'm not going to post it because it looks funky on there.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's just Podcast Like Pro.
It is in the show note. It's in the comment section. So feel free to click on that link, join the group, and make sure you come in to, to learn something. We want to, if you're somebody who already has experience, come on in and be ready to teach people, show people what you've learned. There's so many. Think of it like this. Okay. My kids are, 9 and 11 right now. And I've seen them play tag outside, play in the pool, run around, do all kinds of stuff that kids do, not on their electronics, watching YouTube, not watching Netflix, not watching all these things. Why? Because they've already spent all this time looking at everything. They're over it. And these are the kids that have that much time. Adults, we don't have that much time. But we do get tired of watching some Tiger King after a while. So what do? We turn to our cell phones. My kids, one of them has a cell phone, the other one doesn't. So when we turn to our cell phones, we're looking for that next distraction. We're looking for that next reality show. We're looking for that next bit of information that's entertaining and fun to watch. That's what your show needs to be. It needs to be something that people want to see, that people get information from, that people will listen to on a regular basis, or at least distract them for a little while. So if they're flipping through their Instagram and your stuff stands out, it pops, it looks a little bit different. Maybe it's got bright yellow and bright blue charger colors, right? You may still pass it up, but you'll stop and you'll look for a second. And that's the second that you may need to attract a little bit more of an audience, to attract another customer, to attract somebody who's interested in what it is you do, or who's willing to share that information with somebody else. And it comes from having that professional look. It comes from having that creativity and talking to other people who are in the space, who have done certain things, who have tried other ideas. And maybe an idea that works for this guy that owns gyms, maybe he has a great idea that works for him. And guess what? It's going to work for this other person because they're going to try it. And maybe they work in a kitchen. and they're in completely different industries, but one creative idea may work a little bit different when modified in another creative space. That's what podcasting like a pro is about. And so we're going to share with you, everything we're doing so that literally you can do it by yourself. I'm going to share this with you. When we started the podcast, we started using Sling Studio to bring in video. And it required that you have that second person, that producer. James has been the producer of the show since we started doing that. He was responsible for changing the camera angles, right? So changing camera angles, whatever it is that we were doing, right? Split screening. He was in charge of making sure he commented with people online. He was doing all that stuff. Ever since we went to COVID and I switched over to StreamYard, for example, James's producing system kind of went obsolete.
Pretty
He
much.
kind of just hangs out now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not that he doesn't want to produce. It's just that necessity, the fact that we went mobile, I needed to figure out a way that I can handle things in case James wasn't able to come over. Right?
And here we are. I can't come over anymore.
And yeah, exactly. So
it's funny that you bring it up because I'm over here so often feeling like, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of hanging out. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
Now you get to be part of the conversation like you did last time. Like you ask questions.
Yeah, I know.
It took a couple episodes for you to like realize, oh man, I can join the conversation.
Yeah, I can actually say stuff now.
But and here's the thing. Another pain point that I've heard a lot of is I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. So anytime you watch a YouTube video, for example, that's entertaining, what are some of the key components? I'm just going to ask you, maybe you might even bring up some other ideas. When you watch a YouTube video that's entertaining, what makes it entertaining as far as the production value of it? Obviously the content, if it's like a, clickbait or something like that, that's going to be, whatever they're saying.
You watch a YouTube video?
When you watch a video, or when you watch a video in general, it doesn't have to be YouTube, but a video in general, what makes it interesting? What makes a movie interesting? Why is it different from when we have one camera angle?
No idea.
No idea? You don't know what makes movies more
makes-
interesting than movies more interesting, or TV shows more interesting than regular
what makes
cameras? No?
I'm not sure what you're getting at here.
When you film, you grab your camera, you film something, there are no edits. It's one straight shot all the way through.
Right?
That is boring.
Oh, it can be, or
right?
depending on how it's done. Like take what's that movie? Cloverfield.
Okay, Cloverfield. But even Cloverfield, you know what? You're right. It was completely done like that. You're absolutely right. That's one unique thing. But other than that, most of the things you watch are not
Lots of
very
cuts, lots of
interesting.
edits, lots of scenes.
Okay, cuts, lots of scenes, right? Or what do they call it when you look back at something that happened before? Flashbacks, right?
When you look
Flashbacks.
back.
Yeah. I knew there was a word and it went back. I just didn't remember what it was. So flashbacks, cuts. What about other clips from other things that are kind of like memes and stuff?
Are you about to lead into something that you're able to do with StreamView?
Well, yeah. So for example, right? For example, I'm just gonna do it again. Doing something like this. What if you said something crazy and I just dropped a meme like this?
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.
And then we come back to our conversation and start talking, right? Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, we talked about that right after the show yesterday.
Right? We were talking about that. Wouldn't that be cool? So
yeah. So now we're looking for cool videos to toss into the show randomly.
Right? So if I could teach you as an individual, as a brand new podcaster, a way for you to create fun videos where you're inserting clips, memes, whatever it is, into your show, would your show be more entertaining than the guy who's just popping up a camera and hitting the record on the Zoom button? Of course it would.
Obviously.
And that's the difference between podcasting like a pro and what we're going to be doing on our Facebook group, what we're going to be doing as part of the Power of Podcasting groups. I'm going to teach you to create a fully produced show that's a little bit better. And I don't know if I said this on the air last time, but I think I did tell you off the air. I ordered some new logos, right? For our stuff. And it's two separate logos. One logo is going to be just me, the little character. I know they kind of look the same, but the little character that has facial hair all the way around, right? And he doesn't have hair on top, just headphones, right? And it's just going to be Business Bro. Right. And then I ordered another one that's just the yellow shirt character, and that's James. Right. And it's just going to say Insurance Bro. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do that is because we're going to start doing a nice little spin-off of these shows. Right. And so we'll still have our interview-based platform, but the spin-off for me is going to be much more conversational with fun clips, with a bunch of different stuff that may not be 100% business related, but it'll be fun to do. Right. And so the conversation will be a little bit different, and it'll be all about podcasting and all about creating cool content and enjoying conversation with people, that sort of stuff. So you can see how these things interact. And then as I develop that on my side, I'm going to have James do the same thing, but we're going to put an insurance spin on it so that we can use a bunch of different types of clips and memes and all kinds of stuff to make content fun. Make the topic of whatever your industry is, because let me tell you, insurance is boring as all hell.
Hey, now.
But we can make it fun, right? And that's the intent. Podcasting like a pro is about bringing content that has valuable information, that's enjoyable, that's easy to consume, and that you have a fun time doing.
There you go,
dude. So that's what I'm excited about. And it's like super on the cusp. I actually plan on launching this a week from today.
Oh, well, I started inviting people already.
Oh, no. You can invite people to the group. That's cool. But the entire program that we're going to be offering within, the group will have access to individual trainings to learn to do it themselves. But I guarantee you, like anything else, if you teach somebody to do it themselves and you give them the option to just pay to do it, a lot of them are just going to be like, yep, help me out. Let me get those pieces I need.
Yep.
Right? So we're going to show you how to do it. But then after that, we're going to provide you the tools you need and the support you need and whatever else you need to be successful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing shows take the next step up, right? So everybody's at the podcasting space where they're like, cool, I got a mic, cool, I got Zoom, cool, I'm doing lives, and that's cool, that's great, that's entertaining, but we're about to take podcasting to a whole new level. We're going to take it to the pro status, so that when you look at stuff we talked about this before, where you look at images or audiograms and you look at some and they're just like, hey, it's a picture and, some little squibbly stuff. And there's other ones that are flashy and interactive and they move, right? Like, we're taking podcasting to a whole new level. We're going to help you be a sole producer of a very entertaining, high produced, quality, professional looking show.
Yes, all of that.
Something like that.
High quality produced. Yeah, high quality looking anyway.
Yeah. So all those words, but maybe not in that order.
Yep, all those words.
Oh, dude.
You'll figure it out.
It's finally Friday.
It is.
Friday.
Every day is kind of the same. Or
in
in the words of Morrissey, every day is like Sunday. Every
day is a great day, dude.
It's true.
You woke up, win number one. Hey, right. So real quick, speaking of wins, you like my grandma story this morning?
That I haven't seen that one yet. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I've been busy today, and I saw the little sock sticker, and I'm like, I wonder what the heck he's talking about. All right, I'll get to that in a minute.
Dude. So anyways, my goal is to be a little more vulnerable and share actual stories, things that happen. So basically, I'll tell you where it came from. Rosa and I have been having more and more discussions about, what's going on in the podcast, which is cool because it means she's helping contribute to stuff. And she was telling me, she's like, look, a lot of people see you at this level in the business game, and they're like, I'm not going to listen to him. He's all the way up there. Why don't you talk about those times where you were horrible at it, where you sucked at it, where you were just getting started, where you were broke, where this fuel, where you're at right now, where your consistency level is high. Why is that so, why are you at
What
that
got you
level.
there?
What
Yeah.
got me there? Right.
Yeah.
Talk about that stuff that other people are going through right now,
Mhm,
so that
mhm.
they have something to aspire to, so that you're not, you didn't start off at the top. You started at the bottom. Share with people what that was like.
Nice.
So that's the goal behind the Instagram stories. That's the goal behind Single Business Bro. That's the goal, hopefully, behind Insurance Bro, right?
get
To
it.
bring
Alright.
bring that stuff off, and be specific to where we are.
I love it.
Spin-offs, baby.
So much coming. So much coming.
It's like Shield.
It's like Shield. Did
Yeah.
Shield have a spinoff?
Shield was the spin-off from the Marvel movies,
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then they have spin-offs too. Did they have spin-offs?
Not that I
don't
know
know.
of.
I don't know. They all kind of
No.
stuff. Anyways, well, that's what's working. That's what we're working on, whether you know it or not. That's what I've been working on.
All I
So-
know is all the Marvel movies and all the Marvel shows pretty much got pushed back, and I'm like deeply upset because I really wanted to watch Black Widow.
So sad.
I know.
Dude, I wonder if the movie industry is going to survive.
Of course
Like-
it is.
No, I'm okay. Movies, yes. Theaters.
That's a good question.
'Cause
I hope
with
so.
I hope
I
so.
hope
too.
so.
I hope
Because
so.
when it comes right down to it, like going to the movies is an event. Right.
Absolutely.
When I watch a movie at home, like I have my phone and there's, I get up and like go get,
it's cool,
whatever,
but it ain't
it's
the
fine.
same.
but it's not the theater. And especially the way we've been watching movies lately with the Dolby Digital,
Oh
and the
my God.
vibrating seats and
Yeah.
the insane sound and all that. Like, put me there.
But my
To
question
me-
is social distancing. Will we be able to sit in a theater packed with 150 people?
Yes. Eventually.
I hope so. But in
Eventually.
the meantime, will they survive?
Yes. Because if they don't, somebody else will pick it up and see it as the
We're
long-term
getting
investment.
back into this industry.
It's gonna be fine. Like,
I sure as hell hope so, man.
I think so. Honestly, dude, I like you and Anthony and a lot of the people that are freaking out about, oh, they're taking my rights away, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it, I understand it, I see it. It makes sense. But honestly, I think that a year from now, things are gonna be mostly back to normal. With 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever, things are going to be back to the way they were.
I hope so. All I know is we're gonna hit some major financial catastrophes here.
Oh, I
soon,
think so,
and we're
too.
just starting out. So you're talking
Yeah.
about a year. I think in a year we're gonna hit the worst part of it. This is where people are gonna really be hurting. Businesses will really be hurting.
You think so?
If there's businesses hurting right now in the 6 weeks, I mean,
Well, yeah, this is absolutely the tip of the iceberg. But what I mean, I don't necessarily think how do I say? I don't necessarily think that everything is just going to go back to the way it was. But I don't think that things are going to drastically change. I don't think that it's going to be like a 180-degree difference from where we were 2 months ago. I really don't think it's going to be 180-degree, like all of a sudden we're all in what do you call it, military state and all of this other stuff.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a military state. I honestly don't think it's gonna be that far. But you don't need a military state if other things are in play. And honestly, dude, I'm telling you that book I told you by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, I listened to it. Listened to it last night.
What'd you
Outwitting
think?
the Devil.
Yeah, what'd you think? Hypnotic rhythm.
Hypnotic Rhythm.
I mean, that's habits, right? And at the
Mhm.
very beginning of that book, he's talking about driven by fear, and it's over and over and over again across
Right.
history. I mean, the way he's
where's
describing
the
it.
fear? Where's the fear, right? Is it the fear that like the government's gonna take over and fear I'm not living in fear.
Oh, I don't. I'm the same way. I'm not afraid of anything. I just worry. But I do worry about what the Mubas do. I do worry about how the masses react.
About what the 98% does.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to go against that herd of zombies, bro. Like it just is. It doesn't matter if if they're moving at a slow pace. A herd of zombies is a herd of zombies.
Sure.
And so for me, it's like it's you're giving things up. And the masses accept that. To go backwards on things is much more difficult because they've become accustomed to it. Little bit at a time.
Little bit at a time. I don't necessarily think that people are, well, I don't know. It's a fine, it's crazy, man. It's crazy seeing like all of these rules that have been put into place that have shut down so many things. But, you know, we talk about it like if it's a big conspiracy, and I think that that's, you know, that's the fear. That's the fear talking, that it's a conspiracy, that there's, you know, the deep state and all these other things that are coming that are, you know, here to take away our freedoms and make us into slaves and, you know, whatever, you know, somebody has ruled the country and ruled the world and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Somebody has been in power for a long time. There's always been and always will be a discrepancy of who's in power and who's not.
True.
You know, so
true.
That's like that's not going to change.
No,
we're going through,
and I don't disagree with that concept is not going to change. But if you don't question what goes on, if you don't ask or don't think of things changing, then when you have that person in power or whoever leaning in the wrong direction, like you have a Thanos in power,
mm-hmm.
and you've never questioned anything and you allow that type of power to happen, that's when things get scary. And you've let it happen over time.
There you go. You're living in fear.
Well, no, but it's a matter of questioning, right? In other words, for me, it's like, why is it mandated that we have to wear a mask? Shouldn't it be an optional thing? Don't go outside. If you don't want to be out, you know, if you don't want to be exposed, don't go outside. It's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be groups of people who are okay with it, who doesn't matter. You could have given them freaking Ebola and they would have still went outside.
Right.
Like but it's a freedom of choice, and you take it away.
And the fear, the driving force, I guess, is okay. Well, we're keeping people inside to keep everybody safe.
Right. Well,
right. And that's ruling by fear.
That's ruling by fear.
That's ruling by fear. And that's, you know,
that's where I question it. Right. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I don't know if it was right or wrong. I honestly, you can't tell. I just don't like the way it was done. That's what
it was.
That's where I question.
All over the world. Like,
I get it. And isn't that a little scarier? I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I saw? Either. You know what I saw the other day? Mila brought it up.
This is why, though, really quick. This is why, like, I don't allow myself to live in that kind of fear where I have to question it and what's going on, what's really happening, and what's the driving force behind all of this, and who's driving this, and who's making this happen. Like, that's the fear that I don't need. It's just, this is what's happening right now. And when this is over, we're going to go back and get back to normal.
I act that way. But I do find it interesting. Everything that happens, whether you believe in deep state or whether you believe in apocalyptic religion or whatever you call it, like that stuff's interesting. Conspiracy theories are freaking interesting, whether or not you 100% agree with them or not. To me, they're interesting. It's like the whole power of Hitler, right? To me, that's interesting. I don't agree with it, but it's interesting, right?
It's interesting. Yeah. History is interesting. Like, there will be documentaries written about this and made about this and books. Yeah. And I mean, there's going to be this is history in the making, obviously.
So anyways, on a little side note before we cut out, because I'm hungry, I got to go eat something.
Yeah.
But yesterday, Mila was like, Dad, can we watch a movie? I was like, yeah, what movie you want to watch? And she put something on YouTube on TV, right? No.
Oh,
she put Forward Unto Dawn.
Forward Unto Dawn.
Oh,
snap! Halo.
Right?
That's awesome.
She put Halo, and it was funny to watch aliens attack and the fear of what the hell's going on, and deep state and military state, whatever it was, everything going on, and she picked Halo. And I was like, oh man, if the Covenant came down, now we really be freaked out.
Oh man, then it's really over.
Then it's really over. All right.
Anyway.
let's call this one over. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you interested in being on the show? Are you looking to sell your home or have a business that needs insurance? Reach out to the Business Bros via email, businessbros@seeusfirst.com right now, or click on the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. And remember to subscribe and share the podcast with the business professionals who you think would benefit from the show.